Good day everyone. Today I'll be discussing with you a supplementary lesson which is not included in our modules. As I have said before, when we discussed about our second module, I will be uploading another video discussing a supplementary lesson about the structure of academic text. Maybe some of you are thinking, why are we going to discuss another structure of academic text if we have already discussed it in our second module? Kasi guys, the lesson we discussed in our second module is about the different information we can glean, we can understand, we can identify from the academic text that we read. So, example, the cause and effect. So, it's an example of an information we can get when we read academic text. Problem solution. So, those are kinds of information a text structure rather according to the types of information they contain. But now, I'll be showing you structure of academic text depending on the parts. So what are the parts of the academic text that we usually read? Okay, so basically guys, talking about academic text, the academic text is just an essay. All academic texts are basically essays. Okay, be it a reaction paper, a review, all of those are just essays. And they only differ in the name because of the information they contain. Okay? Inuulit ko, lahat ng academic text actually ay essays lang naman. Okay? Naiiba lang ang tawag, depende sa laman nila. Halimbawa, essay, gumawa ka ng essay. Tapos yung essay mo na yun, ang laman ay opinion mo tungkol sa isang movie na napanood mo. So, pwede siyang maging reaction paper. Halimbawa, gumawa ka ng essay na nagpo-propose ka ng isang product para sa company nyo in the future when you're working. So, it can be a concept paper, a proposal. Okay? So, your essay becomes a concept paper already. So, again, simply put, guys, all academic texts are basically essays. Okay? So, since all academic texts are basically essays, the parts of the academic text are simply, of course, the parts of the essay. Ano ba ang parts of the essay? So, yun ay introduction, body, and conclusion. I know, guys, you are very much aware with this because ever since you have learned about essay, you were taught that essays actually have three parts, the intro, the body, and the conclusion. So, tandaan lang natin yon. Okay? So, before we further discuss the intro, body, and conclusion, let's first talk about essay. So, sabi ko nga kanina, lahat ng academic text ay basically essays. Okay? Nag-iiba-iba lang ng tawag, depende sa information na laman nila. So, pag sinabi natin essay, it's a literary composition. Pag sinabing composition, it's a paragraph. It's a literary paragraph. Okay, writing, discussing a topic that contains facts and or opinions by the writer. Simply put, when you're making an essay, you're trying to explain a topic. And as you try to explain that topic, you use facts. So you research, and then you put the things that you know about that topic. At the same time, you may also give your opinion. Depending on the type of essay you're writing, of course. Siyempre, depende yun sa klase ng essay. Kung yung essay mo ay reaction paper, siyempre, pwede ka magbigay ng opinion mo kasi nga reaction mo yun. Pero halimbawa, ang topic mo ay, ang essay mo ay isang expository essay. Sabi nga natin, di ba, nung una, nung diniscuss natin yung module 1, pag sinabing expository, you expose the topic. Pinapakita mo, pinapaintindi mo yung topic using factual information only. So, yun. So, an essay may contain facts and or opinions. Pwedeng facts lang, pwedeng opinions lang, at pwedeng halo. Okay? Aside from that, guys, remember that an essay contains three parts. Kaya nga nang sabi ko sa inyo kanina, we have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Okay? That's why, since all academic texts are basically essays, all academic text contains intro, body, and conclusion. Para maging madali sa inyo, gumawa ng kahit anumang gawain, like an essay, or a paragraph, let's discuss the parts one by one, the intro, and the body, and the conclusion. Of course, let's begin with the introduction. Sinabi natin introduction, it means it opens the topic. Okay? Ibig sabihin, siya yung simula, kaya nga introduction. Okay? So, what it does is, it informs the reader in varied ways what the topic is. Bakit? Bakit kailangan ng introduction? Kasi, guys, when you write something, when you write an essay about something, You can't just start writing about the topic. Hindi pwedeng sulat mo kagad kung ano yung gusto mong sabihin, kung ano yung facts na nag-gather mo about sa topic, kung ano yung opinions mo about the topic. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Kailangan, bigyan mo muna ng idea yung magbabasa sa kung ano ang i-discuss mo sa essay mo. Paano yun, sir? Halimbawa, pag kayo nagbabasa ng kwento, hindi pwedeng ikwento agad sa inyo ng writer yung kwento ng mga characters. Siyempre, bibigyan niyo muna kayo ng background. Bibigyan niyo muna yung settings. Yung setting ng kwento. Saan nangyari? Kailan nangyari? Anong panahon yun? Okay? So that your readers' minds will be set to understand better the story. So, ganun din sa mga writing natin, sa mga essay natin. Kailangan may introduction para mas maintindihan na nagbabasa kung ano yung topic natin. Okay? Halimbawa, ang topic mo ay extrajudicial killings. Tapos diniscuss mo kagad na I am not in favor with extrajudicial killings because. You already discussed your opinions about it. Malay mo ba kung alam ng mga magbabasa kung ano yung extrajudicial killing? So dapat may introduction ka muna so that your readers would understand kung ano ba yung extrajudicial killing. So pwedeng sa introduction mo, ang gawin mo, extrajudicial killing is, tapos define mo yung extrajudicial killing. As after mo magbigay ng mga facts about extrajudicial killing, tsaka ka pumunta sa body mo. Tsaka mo i-discuss yung opinion mo about it. Gets po ba? So that is the importance of the introduction. Okay? Sabi dito, the introduction may be done in different ways. So pwede kang gumawa ng introduction gamit ang question. Okay? So this is the easiest way to make an introduction. Paano? You just ask. Halimbawa, your topic is about love. So, syempre, you can start your essay by saying, what is love? Okay? So, that's really the easiest. Okay? So, that's of course the easiest. And I believe most of us, actually all of us, might have used that before. Okay? Diba? Malamang, lahat naman tayo siguro nakapagsimula na ng essay natin using or beginning with a question. So it's the easiest. But guys, since you're already in senior high school, I believe you should try other techniques na in making an introduction because beginning with a question in making an essay is very elementary. Masyado siyang madali. So I guess you should start using other techniques here. Okay? But again, if you don't have any choice, if you don't have time to research, the easiest way is to use the question. Okay? The next one is by using factual information or trivia. This technique of making an introduction is very intellectual. Kasi factual information yung binibigay mo. So if you have time, you can actually try to look for information, research for information about the topic. Halimbawa ngayon kanina, may extrajudicial killing. So pwedeng ang gawin mo sa introduction mo, magbigay ka lang ng facts about about extrajudicial killings, mga trivia, yung mga hindi alam ng mga tao. Halimbawa, factual information. According to the National Statistics Office or NSO, the total number of extrajudicial killings since 2016 has risen from, halimbawa ganon, has risen from, let's say, 2,000 to 5,000 extrajudicial killings. So, it's a factual information or a trivia. Tapos explain mo lang yun. This means that every year, extrajudicial killings in the Philippines are going up, and the government seemed to fail to address this issue. Mga ganon. Okay? So, nakakatalino siya. Nakakatalino siyang tingnan. Okay? Next, factual information. Trivia. So, yung mga trivia naman, aside from other trivia, halimbawa, yung mga did you know that? Did you know that, halimbawa, did you know that extrajudicial means, extra means beyond, and then judicial means judgment, meaning beyond judgment. So, but when we say extrajudicial killings, these are killings which are beyond judgments, meaning killings done without the ruling of the court. Mga ganon. Okay? So, nakakatalino siyang pakinggan. Another technique is by using quotation or striking statements. Sabihin, halimbawa may alam kang quotation about the topic. Halimbawa, extrajudicial killings. Baka naman din nyo pa alam yung extrajudicial killings. Pag sinabi natin extrajudicial killings, ito yung mga pinapatay bail na lang bigla. Halimbawa, yung mga addict, during raids, imbis na dalhin mo na sila sa korte para mahusgahan kung anong dapat na ikaso sa kanila, pinapatay na lang agad sila. Okay? So, yun yung extrajudicial killings. So, halimbawa, extrajudicial killing nga yung topic. So, pwede kang magsimula sa quotation na common. Halimbawa, life is precious. Okay, everybody deserves a second chance. Ganon. Diba? Tapos explain mo lang yun. Lagay mo, quotation, syempre maglalagay ka ng quotation marks. Everybody deserves a second chance. Tapos explain mo lang yun. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Many people find it hard to forgive people who have sinned. But actually, all of us deserves a second chance. So on, so on, so on, so on. Okay? So ganun lang yun. Ganun lang ang ibig sabihin ng quotation. Sir, ano po pinagkaiba ng quotation tsaka ng striking statements? Ang pinagkaiba lang naman ay simple lang. Kapag sinabi natin quotations, ito yung usually kind, moral, yung may lesson ka makukuha. Or basically, let's say, noble. Okay? Matalino, mabuti, mga ganon. At famous. Pero pag sinabi nating striking statements, ito yung mga common statements, daily life statements, na pag nabasa ng reader mo, masa-strike yung attention nila. Kaya nga striking, tatamaan yung attention nila. Halimbawa, simulan mo sa ganito, put quotation marks, tapos lagay mo, Mister ko, kawawa naman ang Mister ko. So, doon mo simulan. So, pag binasa ngayon yun ng mga readers, sabi, bakit ganito yung introduction nito? So, it's really striking. Kasi curious ka, bakit ganito yung umpisa nito? Mister ko, kawawa naman ang Mister ko. Tapos, tsaka mo baliin, tsaka mo sabihin na, diba nakalagay yung quotation sa taas. Mister ko, kawawa naman ang Mister ko. Tapos lagay mo sa baba. These were the words of the mother of a wife as she grieves for her husband who died because of extrajudicial killing. Tapos ikwento mo yon. In an operation done by the NBI at in Tondo, Manila in August ganyan, 20 ganyan. Tapos kwento mo yung nangyari. Tapos sabihin mo na yun yung sinabi ng babae habang iniiyakan niya yung bangkay ng asawa niya habang yakap-yakap niya. Introduction na yun. Okay? So, striking statements. Naiintindihan po. Okay? And finally, you can also make an anecdote. So, ano yung anecdote? Pag sinabi naman nating anecdote, yun yung short story. Very, very short story. Magkwento ka lang. Halimbawa, ang topic mo ay love. So, pwede ka magkwento about your first love. O kaya kailan mo natutunan yung concept of love. Anong age ka natutong magmahal. Mga ganon. So, yun yung anecdote. Again, an anecdote is simply a very short story. So, let's discuss them one by one. Sabi natin kanina, one technique you can use is using a question. So, ayan. Topic is love. The technique you're going to use to make an introduction is question. So, pwede ka magsimula sa what is love? Have you been in love? How can we say we are in love? So, those are introduction questions that you can use when the topic is love. Okay? So, again, in using the technique question, ang ibig sabihin lang nun, mag-isip ka lang ng tanong about the topic, tapos doon mo sisimulan. Okay? Para mas maging matalino siguro kung halimbawa wala na kayong choice, gusto niyo lang gamitin tong questions kasi wala na kayong time mag-research ng factual information, wala kayong alam na quotation, wala kayong maisip na kwento or anecdote, question na lang talaga gagamitin nyo. Pwede nyo namang gamitin to, tapos ang gawin nyo na lang, sunod-sunurin nyo. Halimbawa, what is love? Have you been in love? How can we say that we are in love? So, sunod-sunod. Tapos, tsaka mo explain na, these are the usual questions we ask ourselves when we talk about love. People consider love as chu-chu-chu-chu. So, yun, palabukan mo lang, dagdagan mo na lang. Okay, and that's already an introduction. Inindihan po. Okay. Next. What about the factual information or statistics technique? So, again, our topic is still love. Tapos, ang ginamit naman natin dito ay factual information or statistics. So, halimbawa, this one, it's a very long introduction, di ba? Kaya nga maganda kapag gumagamit ka ng factual information or statistics. Yung mga 5 out, according to NBI, halimbawa, 5 out of 15 teenagers are involved in crimes in Metro Manila. So, nakakatalino siya, di ba? Yung mga statistics sa factual information or trivia. So look at this example. It's an introduction about love, following or using the factual information technique. Sabi dito, according to the ancient Greeks, there are 8 types of love. These include agape, which refers to the unconditional love that usually is related to God's love. Eros, which means romantic love that we give to our partners. Philia, which means affectionate love that we give our friends. Philothea, or self-love. Storge, which means familiar love or that we give to our parents and family. Pragma, or enduring love, which is the higher level of eros that we feel toward our partners. Ludus, which means playful love or the infatuation, yung crush that we feel in the early stages of romance. And finally, mania, which is the most dangerous one, meaning obsessive love. So, in this, guys, in this example paragraph, introduction, what the writer used is factual information. So yun, nag-research lang siya about love. At nalaman niya in his researching na there are actually 8 kinds of love according to the ancient Greeks. Tapos yun yung ginamit niya. Tapos, di ba? Nagkakaroon ka ng introduction about love, about the topic love. Tapos kung gusto mo, kung hindi ka pa nakontento dyan, ang gawin mo, after mong ilagay itong paragraph na to, lagyan mo sa after nito, sunod-sunukan mo ng tanong na, how about you? Have you ever been in love? How can we say that we are in love? Mga ganon, di ba? So, humahaba yung essay. Mas nagiging madali para sa ating gumawa ng essay kasi alam natin yung mga techniques. Okay? The next technique was quotation. Still the topic is about love. Tapos, ang technique natin ay quotation. So, halimbawa ng quotation na pwede mong gamitin when in discussing love. So, ito. Love is when other person's happiness is more important than your own. Diba? Sabi nila, true love daw is when mas mahalaga sa'yo yung ikasasaya ng taong mahal mo kaysa sa sarili mo. So, ito yung klase ng love na kaya mong mag-let go. Diba? So, yun daw yung true love. So, pwede mong gamitin yun. Tapos explain mo lang siya. Love is when the other person's happiness is more important than your own. Many people are so afraid of being heartbroken. But actually, true love means that you consider the happiness of the person you love rather than your own happiness. So, explain mo lang yun. Tapos, introduction na yun. Okay? Another quotation is this. We accept the love we think we deserve according to Stephen Chbosky. So, you may write it like this or you may write it this way na according to Stephen Chbosky, we accept the love we think we deserve. So, depende sa style mo yun of writing. So, explain mo lang yan, yung quotation na yan. Sabi kasi daw, tayo daw, we people, we accept the love we think we deserve. So, halimbawa, ikaw, niloko ka ng boyfriend or girlfriend mo, tapos pinatawad mo pa rin siya. Niloko ka uli, pinatawad mo pa rin siya. Mahal mo pa din siya, kayo pa din. Ibig sabihin lang daw nun, kaya mo siya tinatanggap kasi tingin mo, yun lang yung klase ng love na deserve mo. That is the only kind or level of love that you think you deserve. So, ganun daw yun. Okay? We accept the love we think we deserve. So, ikaw, kung niloko ka, tapos hiniwalayan mo, tapos kahit mahal mo pa siya, hiniwalayan mo pa rin, it means that you have high standards of love. Sabihin, alam mo sa sarili mo na hindi ako pang ganito lang. Na hindi pwedeng ito lang yung love na makukuha ko. Kasi nagbibigay ako ng true love eh. Hindi pwedeng ito lang yung love na makuha ko. So yun yun. Okay, we accept the love we think we deserve. Or another quotation is this. Love is not blind, it sees, but it doesn't mind. Hindi daw bulag ang pag-ibig. Kasi di ba may akong kasabihan na love is blind? So, this is an opposite to that. That love is not blind, it sees, but it does not mind. Nakakakita naman ng pag-ibig eh. Alam naman ng pag-ibig kung ano ang mga mali. Kaso nga lang wala siyang pakialam. Okay? So, quotation. Okay. The last technique we talked about was about the use of anecdote. Okay, so the topic is still love, and then the technique used here is anecdote. Again, when we say anecdote, it's a very short story. Okay, sir, pwede po bang invento yung story? Yes, you can create your own story. But of course, it's better if it's factual. Kung totoo, kung based on experience or experience ng kakaibigan nyo na kinuwento sa inyo, mas maganda rin yun. But you can actually invent your own story. Pwede kang gumamit ng mga parang mga symbols. Halimbawa yung ang topic mo ay friendship. Tapos simulan mo na once there was a little rabbit living in a forest or living in a jungle. In there, the rabbit met a lot of animals, including horses, turtles, snakes, and so on. Tapos tsaka mo discuss na yung bawat animals na yun nagpo-portray sa iba't ibang klase ng tao na makikilala mo in your life. Tapos, no matter how kind you are, like a rabbit, you will meet a person who is a snake. So, about friendship. Okay, it's an anecdote, a very short story. So let's look at this example anecdote or short story about love na pwede niyong gamitin. So sabi dito, it was a rainy day. I had no umbrella. The rain seemed to not stop. Ayaw daw tumigil ng ulan. I was afraid of going home too late in the night. So I decided to run through the rain. I counted 1, 2, and 3. Then I ran quickly. I suddenly bumped onto someone. It was so fast. I returned to my senses that I was lying on the wet floor, and I was all wet too. Then someone stood in front of me, reached out a hand to me, not conscious yet. I reached the hand and stood. When I looked at the person, I was shocked. It was John, my longtime crush, and there our love story began. So here, guys, you see that the writer used a personal experience, a story, to introduce the topic about love. So, ganun lang yun. So, those are the different techniques, guys, you can use in making an introduction. So, di ba? Mas madali magsulat kapag alam mo kung ano yung mga pwedeng techniques na gamitin mo. Tapos, kung medyo may time ka pa, tapos medyo ginaganahan kang mag-isip, paghalu-haluin mo itong mga techniques na to. Okay? Pwedeng magkwento ka muna, tsaka ka magbigay ng facts, tsaka ka magtanong or magtanong ka muna, tsaka ka magbigay ng facts, tsaka ka magkwento ng personal experience, diba? Or magbigay ka ng quotation, tapos tsaka mo ibigay yung facts, and so on. So it's up to your style. Easier. Okay. The next part is the body. Okay. So the body develops the topic. So if the introduction opens the topic, the body develops it. How? By discussing the topic in varied ways. So, dito mo na sinasabi or dinidiscuss yung anumang gusto mong sabihin tungkol dun sa topic. Kung kanina sa introduction, nagbibigay ka lang ng ideas dun sa may readers mo kung ano yung topic, dito, sasabihin mo na kung ano yung goal mo. Ano bang goal mo about the topic? Ano bang gusto mong ipaliwanag about the topic? So, ito yon. Okay? So, it may be done through the following. So, you can do it by point, or by using similarities and differences, by cause and effect, by description, or maybe by problem solution, kagaya yung ginawa natin sa module 2, narration or chronological order, or pwede rin namang expository. Okay? So, let's discuss these one by one. Pag sinabi natin point by point, you discuss every thought per paragraph. Sabihin, one paragraph, isang sagot, one paragraph, isang sagot, one paragraph, isang sagot. Halimbawa, so look at this muna, sige. For transitions, you can or connectors, you may use this. Ito yung mga signal words or connectors na pwede mong gamitin kapag gumagamit ka ng point by point sa pagsulat ng body mo. So pwedeng firstly, secondly, lastly, furthermore, also, and another. So yun yung mga words na pwede mong gamitin kasi nga, pag point by point, bawat sagot mo, iniisa-isa mo, point by point. Halimbawa, ang topic ay same-sex marriage. Tapos, ang ginagawa mong essay ay, bibigay mo yung opinion mo about same-sex marriage. Tapos, meron kang tatlong sagot. Yan, meron kang tatlong points na gustong sabihin. So, halimbawa, ang unang mong point ay, I am in favor of same-sex marriage because I am pro-love. Yun. Second naman, I am in favor of same-sex marriage because same-sex couples can adopt orphans. Pwede silang mag-ampon ng mga bata. Tapos pangatlo, I am in favor of same-sex marriage because let's say, um, according to research, same-sex couples are more likely to stay together, committed together, than um, than the male and female couples. So mas madalas daw kapag same-sex couples hindi naghihiwalay. So pwede yun. So yun yung tatlong sagot mo. So pag may ganun, halimbawa ganun yung tatlong sagot mo, tapos gusto mo silang i-explain better or clearer, pwede kang gamit ng point by point. Sabihin, bawat sagot mo, i-explain mo per paragraph. So magiging tatlong parts yung paragraph mo. Okay? Kapag naman similarities, differences, ang ginagawa mo dito, you enumerate the likeness and the dislikeness of the subjects involved. Diniscuss natin ito sa module 2. Sabihin lang, may topic, tapos i-compare mo siya sa ibang topic. So, halimbawa, ang topic ng essay mo ay si President Duterte. Tapos wala kang maisip na facts about him. Wala ka ding maisip na sabihin tungkol sa kanya. Pwede kang humanap ng ibang bagay na pwede mo siyang i-describe or i-compare. Halimbawa, describe mo siya kay Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo as a president. So, yun. Pwede mong gawin yun. Okay? So, pag ito ginawa mo daw, pwede mo siyang gawin point by point or as a whole. Paano yun, sir? Pag sinabi natin similarities and differences, pwedeng point by point, sabihin, isusulat mo siya by parts. Halimbawa, similarities muna. Yun muna di-discuss mo. After nun, puro differences na. So, point by point. Or pwede rin namang, halimbawa, ano muna, personal information muna. Yung isang paragraph. After ng personal information naman, ano naman, yung similarities and differences nila pagdating sa work experience. Tapos yung pangatlong paragraph naman, similarities and differences nila pagdating sa pagiging pangulo. Okay? So yun yung sinasabi natin point by point. Or pwede mo rin naman siyang gawing as a whole. Pag sinabing as a whole, sabihin isang buong paragraph lang, nandun na yung similarities and differences. So it's up to your style. Okay? So ito yung mga connectors na pwede mong gamitin or mga words na pwede mong gamitin para select ka using the similarities and differences. Halimbawa, similar to, conversely, on the other hand, and however. Tapos marami pa yan. Okay? Another technique is the cause and effect. I think we don't have to discuss this further because we have discussed this in our second module. Alam naman natin ng cause and effect. It explains relationship of events or actions. Okay? So you can use these connectors and therefore, hence, thus, as a result of, consequently, and others. Pag sinabi natin therefore, guys, therefore, hence, tsaka thus, ito tatlo na to, they all mean the same. Kumbaga, parang ibig lang sabihin lang nila in layman's term ay so. Halimbawa, I am hungry, so I ate. Oh, I was hungry, so I ate. Gutom ako, kaya kumain ako. So, yung so na yon ay informal version. So, kung gusto mong gumamit ng formal version, ito ang gamitin mo. Okay? I was starving, therefore, I ate. So, pinalitan mo yung so ng therefore. Pwede rin namang I was starving, hence, I ate. Or, I was starving, thus, I ate. So, all these words, therefore, hence, and thus, they all mean the same. Lahat silang ibig sabihin lang naman ay so, o yung Tagalog, kaya. Okay? Let's go to the body again, using the technique description. So, alam na rin natin to, diniscuss na rin natin sa module 2. Description is, you discuss a topic using its characteristics. So, you're trying to paint a picture in the imagination of the reader about a person, an event, a place, or whatsoever. Okay, so here are the connectors you can use talking about, looking at, generally, specifically, etc. Okay, and finally, let's go to conclusions. So, conclusion naman, what we do is, we summarize the thoughts into a closing idea. So, pwede mong ulitin lang yung mga sagot mo. Okay, halimbawa, yung sa may same-sex marriage, tapos na-discuss mo na lahat yun sa body mo. Sa dulo, pwede mong ulitin lahat. Na, again, I am in favor of same-sex marriage because, first, I am pro-love. Second, I believe that same-sex couples can adopt orphans. And lastly, according to research, same-sex couples are more likely to stay committed to one another in their lifetime. Tapos, conclusion. Summarize mo lang lahat ng main points mo. Tapos, pwede mo rin siyang gawin in the ways the introduction is done. Ito I advise you to do this, na pag may time kayo, pag gagawa kayo ng conclusion, mas maganda kung balikan yung introduction nyo. Okay? Paano balikan, sir? Paano pong balikan namin yung introduction namin? Halimbawa, nagsimula ka sa quotation. Tapusin mo siya sa quotation. Mag-iwan ka ng quotation. Pwedeng yung quotation din na ginamit mo sa umpisa, or pwedeng mag-isip ka ng bagong quotation. Halimbawa, ang topic ay love. So, conclusion ka na. Inulit mo lang yung mga sinabi mo dun sa body, sinummarize mo lang. After mo i-summarize, sabihin mo na, again, according to Stephen Chomsky, we accept the love we think we deserve. Therefore, I urge you that we do our best to be aware of the love people offer us and believe that we deserve more than the love we are receiving right now. Mga ganon. So, binilikan mo lang yung quotation. Okay, halimbawa, yung kwento, balikan mo lang yung kwento na I hope you someday would experience the same love that I have right now. That night, when I bumped into John, I began a journey with another person I would be with for the rest of my life. Mga ganun. So, parang binalikan mo lang yung way mo ng introduction or yung topic mo dun sa introduction. Madali, mas maganda yon. Mas mukhang matalino, mas mukhang pinag-isipan yung essay. So, ito ay mga connectors na pwede mong gamitin kapag gagawa ka ng essay or ng conclusion. So, overall, at the end of the day, in the end, therefore, hence, and thus. Okay? Malinaw ba? We will not have this post test anymore because we did not take the pre-test a while ago. So that will be all for this lesson. So again, this lesson, supplementary lesson, is discussing text structure according to the parts, according to the organization, the intro, body, and conclusion. And the lesson we discussed in our second module is about text structure according to the type of information we can glean from academic text. Ibig sabihin, kung anong klaseng information yung pwede nating makita or maintindihan sa mga academic text na binabasa natin. Okay? So if you have questions, feel free to ask me. Again, thank you very much for attending this pre-recorded lesson. Goodbye, everyone. Keep safe.